Wisconsin Ag in the Classroom did turn 40 this past year, and we've had a lot of really amazing things happen over the past 40 years, um, including the growing to all of Wisconsin County Farm Bureaus and just impacting lots and lots of students. So if I can get the quiz to come up, we'll do it. But this is a great opportunity to just remind everyone of the mission of the program for Ag in the Classroom. Our mission is really to increase agricultural literacy, which is awareness and understanding about agriculture and how it impacts us across grades pre-K through 12 through collaboration with educators, industry experts, and volunteers, with the vision that agriculture is valued by all. And just as for some of you who have been around, you probably know some of this information, but just as a reminder, Agriculture in the Classroom is a USDA program. In 1981, the USDA said, hey, this would be a great thing to do, and kind of threw it out to all of the states. And Wisconsin Farm Bureau has been the state designated host of Agriculture in the Classroom since 1985. And we rely on the American Farm Bureau Foundation for Agriculture for resources and support. We also look to the National Agriculture in the Classroom Program, or NATECO, as well as Utah State University. They have the Center for National Agricultural Literacy, which provides lots of lessons and lots of research and really great speakers. But in Wisconsin, we really run the show. Wisconsin Farm Bureau Foundation supports our programs as well as our county farm bureaus. And we do receive funding from the Department of Agriculture, Trade, Consumer Protection through their state budget, as well as other partners. And we really reach out to pre-K through 12 educators and students. They're kind of our target, but we have this really unique space where FFA and agriculture education live because they're fabulous partners and are out doing some of this ag literacy work with lessons and day on the farm. And then we work to try to provide resources for all of you, for volunteers, and for we're seeing a trend, an uptick in teachers who are retiring who want to get involved in agriculture in the classroom. So we're working on figuring out exactly what that looks like. So at the local, the county level, we really lean in on your support of the local essay contest. I know last year for farm tours and day on the farm, there were over 30,000 students in Wisconsin who experienced one of those programs. So huge kudos to all of you, because that wouldn't be possible without your work. And then any classroom programs or any work you're doing with the Boys and Girls Club or 4-H or homeschool groups. There's so many groups who are always looking for speakers, especially like public libraries. So hopefully when you go to your local schools or you reach out, that it's not the first time that teachers or that administrators are hearing about ag in the classroom. At the state level, we're trying to do more targeted educator experiences, whether it's summer training or meeting teachers at the state social studies conference or the state science teachers conference. We really want to help kind of hit them from the state level as well as the local level, so that they can really understand how it can benefit themselves as educators, but also help their students to learn through that amazing context of food and fiber. So it's a pretty tall order, and I really am very grateful that we have this program housed in Wisconsin, because Farm Bureau members really, truly, you make all the difference. Our program is just so strong because of all of the local sports. I just wanted to take a moment and say thank you so much. This was from the essay contest raffle of the Flex Farm last year, and that went to Reedsburg, a middle school in Reedsburg. So Nancy and her crew in Sauk County really helped make that happen, and they also learned how to put together a Flex Farm. But volunteers around the state just do amazing things, and want to say thank you, thank you before I go into all of the things I have to ask you to do. So wanted to just remind everyone of just your impact of what you do. And 61 county programs volunteered over 10,000 hours last year between 2023 and 2024 school years. And that really helped us to locally reach over almost 45,000 students through programs, through Days on the Farm, through resources, which supported our statewide reach of over 334,000 students and community members in 2024. So I really am grateful and just appreciate everything that you do, which leads me to this year's annual report. Those of you who are new to the game, the annual report, we just ask you to share some information about what your county has been up to during, we call it the fiscal year. So it matches the Farm Bureau membership year, which matches our budget year. It all makes sense. It just times out with, the busy time of year. So the due date for the reports is October 31st of, that should say 2025, not 2015. If you already did 2015, you're ahead of the game, but I really need it this year for 2025. And we're looking for information on your programs, activities, and reach. Any work you did with teachers during that time of between October 1st of 2024 to September 30th of 2025. We're looking for a little bit of county committee information. And then this year we're asking you to share what went well, what didn't go well, and what do you need for this upcoming school year. So what do we do with your information? I actually get to share that report with a couple of different places. So the numbers that you share, including your committee budgets, help us tell the story of agriculture in the classroom to the Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection. I submit a report of all the state activities, including county activities in January. Sorry, there's a fly. I also, as the designated agriculture in the classroom state program, I have to report to the National Agriculture in the Classroom program and USDA. So I do share those numbers and impact with USDA. Wisconsin Farm Bureau Foundation creates their own annual report, and they rely on us to share what the impact is, and there is a real great impact. And if you haven't met John Hromiak yet, who is the state ag in the classroom, or pardon me, he's the state he's got a title, I promise. He is our state foundation director. He has done just a fabulous job of telling our story and helping us find new partners so that we can grow the resources and the opportunities available to teachers and to county volunteers and to all of you who are program leaders. And then the other thing that we do is I take a look at the numbers and we look at what do we need? What additional resources do we need? Do we need more paper copies of something? Do we need more copies of the Ag Badging Field Guide? Do we need to try to lower the cost of the summer bus tour? Whatever it might be, I look for your feedback on that to help us figure out the upcoming year. So to do the reports, it's there's two. If you haven't bookmarked these websites, please do that right now. The first one, the first website is a website for county coordinators. This is where you're going to find all of the resources. I'm going to click on it and hopefully it works and doesn't kick me out of about 6 screens here. But please bookmark this. We're working on making it a little easier to get to on the Wisconsin Farm Bureau website. But until then, please bookmark this website. It's the resources for county leaders for Ag in the Classroom. And every single month, the newsletter that I email out gets posted here. There's also some quick links that you can find everything you need, hopefully, right here. So the first one that's almost always here year round are the essay contest resources. And then we have something called the resource request form. That's where you can request free materials for Ag in the Classroom. And then there's something called the county activity form. This is different than the annual report. And Roseanne, I hope you don't mind. Can I use you as an example? What this form is, the county activity form is just a way for you to track an activity. So if you go into a classroom in May and you're not sure you're going to remember it in September, you can fill out a county activity form and track it. So the form is like a mini version of the annual report, but it's not quite the annual report. So what happens is it'll ask you some questions. you'll do a drop down of what county you're from or what part of the state you're from. It'll ask you just a few questions about what you did, if you use resources, how many students, if you work with anybody, any details or contacts you want to share from the event. And then I put together a link to all of your activity forms from the year. But what you'll get is a link to look at all of the forms that you have submitted. So at the end of the year, all you have to do is go to the second link that's on this slide that you'll get, that you can see, and you'll get to click on your county. I'm sorry it's so small, but when you get this, it's a PDF and you can zoom in and you'll be able to share it. You'll be able to see it. Like I said, you can zoom in and you find your county. So again, Langlade, I know Roseanne did an awesome job at tracking her events this year. The first column of this is the online essay link, which I'll talk about in a second. But the second column is where you're going to find the link to all of the reports that you submitted. So it's zoomed in. It won't be this fuzzy for you, I promise. So you just click on the link and it will show you all of the reports or the activities you've submitted throughout the year. And the idea is, oh, I clicked on lacrosse, sorry. This is what you'll see, but I'm going to go back and I'll go back so you can see Langlade's. But the idea is that it's not super stressful at the end of the year to try to remember what you did throughout the year. And I know that sometimes it's easier said than done, but it is kind of a nice little cheat sheet. So Roseanne did, like I said, she did an awesome job of adding all of her events. So at the end, she'll get to just look back at this, see what she did, total her numbers, boom, annual report is done. So we're trying to figure out ways to help keep everyone organized throughout the year if you need help being organized throughout the year. And also trying to make it a little easier for the reporting part, because it is so important. As you saw in that last slide, we do share that information with a lot of groups that help support the program statewide and of course, again, at the county level. All right. So again, you can reach that viewing link, that big, huge PDF file that you have to super zoom in on. I'll email that out with this slide deck at the end of the presentation. It's a PDF that has all of our counties listed on it, and there's two links. The link in the second column is your activity report link. So if you submitted anything during the 2024-2025 school year, all you have to do is find your county and click on the corresponding link for your county. The second column, since we're here, I'll just explain what it is. The second column is the link to view any essays that are submitted online for the 2026 column. So none of that link is not live yet, so no one can see anything. But if you are from, I'll say Brown County, all you'll have to do if you want to check to see if anybody has entered or submitted essays online, you just click on your county's link and it will show that there are no results to display. But if you have someone show up, you just click on the little icon. All the directions are here to see how your entries come in. So that is something that will be emailed out right after this meeting, along with a link to the recording and to the slides. So everybody will have the opportunity to see what they submitted last year and get ahead of the game for the essay contest this year with those links. And if you are not sure, just call or email me. We'll make sure that you can see it and access it, because those are both really, really important websites and can be really, really good tools for you.